Okay guys, hello. So tuloy lang natin yung naputol nating discussion last time about corporation taxation or corporate taxation. So for today, for this video discussion, try nating i-apply lahat ng concepts and mag-solve tayo ng problems. Sige, so sabi dyan, illustration number 1, Laptop Corporation provides the following data during the taxable year 2026. Binigay yung mga gross income daw. Meron daw gross income from sale of merchandise. Rental income, which is gross of 5% withholding tax. Okay, so na-discuss ko doon na dapat, or itong 5% withholding tax na yan yung creditable withholding tax natin. It is not yet final. Okay, merong miscellaneous income. Included naman yan sa part ng income natin. So, binigay din yung mga operating expenses. Sabi meron daw operating expenses of 7 million. Interest income from savings deposit. Oh, interest income from savings deposit bank. I-assue tapos naka-peso cents. I-assume mo local currency deposit yan. Saan to subject? Subject sa final withholding tax of 20%. Lagyan mo na ng mark yan. Next, interest income from government grant. Government bonds. Tama, si government bonds included part pa rin siya ng or parang considered siya as savings deposit, which is subject pa rin sa final withholding tax of 20%. Interest income on foreign currency deposit. Bank deposits. Oh, final withholding tax yan. Tama, FCDU. Anong tax rate? 15%. 15% sa resident citizen, tapos sa resident alien before CMEPA. Kailan effective ang CMEPA? Kailan effective? July 1, 2025. Ano yung date? 2026. Ano tax rate mo dito? 20% na. Okay. Next, dividend income from a domestic corporation. Sa dividend sheet natin, si domestic corporation is actually an exempt sa dividend income. I-assume mo si Laptop Corporation is also a domestic corporation. Si domestic corporation nag-issue ng dividends from a domestic corporation is actually an exempt sa income tax. Okay? Dahil yun yung concept ng intercompany dividends natin. Meron dyan, gain on sale of shares of a domestic corporation sold directly to a buyer. Pag sold directly to buyer, i-assume mo hindi siya listed sa stock exchange. Kung hindi listed sa stock exchange, yung gain on sale of a shares of a domestic corporation, saan yung subject? 15% of capital gains tax. Kuha mo. Next, gain on sale of a real property in the Philippines held as capital asset. The property was acquired at a cost of 2 million pesos. Saan yung subject? Real property daw. Classified as capital asset. Saan? 6% of capital gains tax. Next, gain on sale of real property abroad. Oh, sa abroad nakalocate. Tapos sabihin na natin, meron daw income. Subject pa ba yan sa 6% capital gains tax? No, kasi dapat subject saan or dapat located inside the Philippines yung capital asset or yung real property. So saan yan subject? Exempt na ba yan kapag domestic corporation, taxable? Saan? Regular income tax. O meron daw income tax paid for the first 3 quarters, parang tax credit lang yan. Okay, mark mo na lang dyan, tax credit. Sa mga requirements tayo, sabi dyan, if the corporation is a domestic corporation, having a total asset excluding the land of 90 million pesos, what is the income tax payable? 90 million pesos daw. Parang sinasabi na pwede daw niyang ma-avail yung 20% na RSIT natin. Pero tama, ano requirement mo sa RSIT na yan? Una, dapat yung net taxable income mo is greater or less than 5 million pesos. Or dapat hindi nag-exceed ang 5 million pesos. And number 2, dapat yung total asset mo, excluding the value of the land, is less than 100 million pesos. 90 million daw, excluding the value of the land. So, pasok tayo sa number 2. Eh, ang kaso tama, mayroon diyang word na and. Dapat parehas mong ma-meet yung requirement 1 and requirement 2. So, i-check natin kung pasok ba tayo sa requirement 1. Magkano ba yung net taxable income niya? Yung sale of merchandise, saan yung subject? Regular income tax. Ito, rental income, regular income tax. Miscellaneous income, regular income tax. Operating expenses, kasama sa regular income tax, pero part of deduction. So, lagyan na lang natin ng close or open and close parentheses. Ito, final withholding tax, final withholding tax, final withholding tax. Hindi nakasama, exempted ito. CGT ito, tapos regular income tax as an addition yung buong gain. So, isolve nga natin magkano sa domestic corporation. Okay. So, meron tayo dyan 10 million pesos plus 2 million pesos plus 3 million pesos less 7 million pesos plus 250,000. Ako-compute natin yung net taxable income natin. Sir, parang net taxable income ba yan? Ito, yung sale. Tapos non-operating income. Tapos operating expenses. Yun yung allowable deduction. Ito yan. So, 750,000. Tapos ito, non-operating income ulit. Masasolve mo na yung net taxable income. Okay, magkano yan? Natin, 10 million plus 2 million plus 3 million less 7 million plus 250,000. This is around 8,250,000. Oh, nakita mo, net taxable income mo 8,250,000. Sinabi yung total asset is more than 90 or less or not more than 100 million. So, pasok sa 2. Kaso sa net taxable income, bumagsak. Gagamitin mo pa ba yung 20%? Hindi na. Gamitin mo dyan, 25%. So, 8,250,000 times 25%, yung income tax due natin is nasa 2,062,500. Yan yung tax due. Anong tinatanong? What is the income tax payable? Pag payable, nakaless yung mga tax credit. Meron kang mga tax credit dito. Ano yung tax credit mo? Una, ito, yung binayaran mo na for the first 3 quarters amounting to 100,000. So, i-less mo yan dito, 100,000. Tapos, ano pa? Meron ka dito, creditable withholding tax of 5%. Magkano ang 5% ng 2 million pesos? 2 million pesos times 5%, 100,000. So, meron ka na namang tax credit dito of 100,000. Ito nang galing sa CWT, ito nang galing sa tax paid for the past quarters. Okay, so 2,062,500 less 100,000 less 100,000, nasa 1,862,000. Okay, 1,862,000, yan yung tax payable natin. So, yung sagot natin for requirement number 1, 1,862,500. Okay, may 500 pala. 1,862,500. Ganun lang. Walang kahirap-hirap. I-apply mo lang yung concept na tinuro natin kanina. Yun na yung sagot for illustration 1, requirement number 1. Illustration 2 naman, sinabi, determine the corporation's final withholding tax. So, ano ba yung mga subject sa final withholding tax? Isa-isahin natin. 100,000 daw. 100,000 ang tax rate mo, 20%. So, it's better na i-mark mo na para pag sinasagutan mo yung mga questions, alam mo na agad yung gagawin mo. Hindi mo na babalikan ulit yung mga given. Okay? In case lang naman. So, mas mabuti kung i-mark mo na habang binabasa mo yung questions. Next, 100,000 ulit yung government bonds. Yung tax rate mo dyan, 20%. Yung FCDU, 150,000, tax rate mo dyan, 20%. Meron ka pa bang final withholding tax? Wala ka naman ng mark na mark dyan. So, gawin natin to. 100 times 20%, 20,000. Ito, 20,000. Ito, 150,000 times 15% or times 20%, nasa 30,000. So, yung sagot natin, 20 plus 20 plus 30, nasa 70,000 pesos. So, yung sagot for final withholding tax dito, 70,000 pesos. Diba? Dali. Madali lang talaga to. Next, determine the capital gains tax. O, dalawa lang naman yung nasa capital gains tax mo dito. Ito, yung gain mo na 125,000. So, 125,000 times 15%. Tapos ito, 6%. Gain on sale of real property daw is 200,000. The property was acquired at a cost of 2 million pesos. So, i-analyze mo. Kung yung cost daw is 2 million pesos, tapos nung binenta mo daw may gain ka ng 200,000, magkano selling price mo? Sige, magkano selling price mo? Siyempre, 2,200,000. Yung cost nga ng property mo, 2 million, tapos nagkaroon ka ng gain ng 200,000 after mong ibenta yung cost na 2 million. So, meron kang selling price na 200,000. Sir, gagamitin ko na ba yung 2,200,000 na selling price? Binigay ba yung fair market value? Hindi. Anong assumption mo? Selling price na tayo. So, 2,200,000 times 6%. 2,200,000 times 6% is equal to 132,000. Yung 125,000 times 15% is equal to 18,750 plus 132,000. Yung total na subject sa capital gains tax natin is 150,750 pesos. So, yung sagot natin for requirement number 3, 150,750. Huwag mo nang pahirapan yung sarili mo. Hindi na nga binigay yung fair market value ng real property na subject sa capital gains tax, hinahanap mo pa. Wag na. Doon ka na lang sa kung ano yung given sa'yo. Okay? Sige. Sa problem lang naman. Sa totoong buhay, syempre, hanapin mo yung fair market value. Okay tayo. Game. Requirement number 4, sabi, if the corporation is a resident foreign corporation having total assets excluding land of 90 million, what is the income tax payable? Assuming that the gross income and operating expenses are the only income subject to regular income tax. So yun daw, i-assume mo daw muna na for this illustration purposes, yung gross income daw and yung operating expenses, yun lang daw yung income na subject sa regular income tax. Ano ba yung gross income natin dito? Tama, yung 10 million na to, tapos yung 2 million na to, tapos yung 3 million lang na ito muna. Okay? And then, meron kang 200,000 dito. Or hindi. No. Tama, yun muna. Regular income tax, then regular income tax. So ito, 10 million. 2 million, ba? 3 million, and then, magkano yung operating expenses ulit natin? Ito yan, no? 7 million pesos. Ito din yan, 7 million pesos. So, ito, 7 million pesos. I-deduct natin yan dito. Oh, ito. Sir, itong 250,000 na to, consider ko pa ba? Tingnan mo, saan ba galing yan? Ito yan, 250,000. Anong nangyaring transaction dyan? Gain on sale of real property? Abroad. Ano ka na ba ngayon? Resident Foreign Corporation. Si Resident Foreign Corporation, territoriality theory ulit ng taxation. Kapag yung income na na-earn sa Pilipinas, yun lang yung taxable kay Resident Foreign Corporation. Saan to na-earn na income? Abroad. So, anong mangyayari dyan? Hindi kasama yung 250,000 na to. I-ignore mo na ngayon yan. Okay, wag mong kakalimutan pa rin yung territoriality theory. Resident Foreign Corporation tayo dito. Ito yung usapan dito, domestic corporation. Kaya taxable itong transaction na to kasi nga domestic corporation ka. Yan yung exception to the general rule. Pero yung general rule na natin, mag-a-apply kay Resident Foreign Corporation, which is yung taxable lang yung income na na-earned inside the Philippines. Na-earned ito outside the Philippines. Kuha? Very good. Oh, ano pa ba? Ito, tignan mo. Tama, gain on sale of real property in the Philippines held as capital asset. Ano sinabi ko? Pag resident foreign corporation ka na, hindi ka na subject sa capital gains tax. Pero meron kang gain. So saan mong gagawin mo dyan? Is subject mo yan saan? Sa regular income tax. Kaya meron kang addition dito na 200,000 pesos. So ang magiging sagot natin for number 4 is that 10 million pesos plus 2 million pesos plus 3 million pesos, that's equal to 15 million less 7 million pesos plus yung 200,000 na gain doon sa supposed to be capital asset pag domestic corporation, pero resident foreign corporation tayo, hindi tayo subject sa 6% of capital gains tax, kaya yung 200,000 subject sa regular income tax. 200,000 na gagamitin mo, hindi 2.2. Bakit? Regular income tax to, gain yung basis natin. Okay? Gain tayo dyan. So, yung total mo dito, 8,200,000. Ito yung net taxable income natin. Okay tayo. Sige, multiply natin. Magkano tax rate mo kapag resident foreign corporation? 25%. Kasi hindi naman applicable sa kanila ang 20%. So, multiply mo na yung 25%. Yung sagot natin dito or yung tax due natin dito is 2,050,000. Anong tinatanong sa atin? What is the income tax payable? So, i-consider mo yung mga tax credit. Meron siyang tax credit na 100,000. Tapos, meron siyang tax credit sa rental income of 100,000. So, alisin mo din yan dito. So, 2,050,000 less 100 less 100. This is equal to 1,850,000. Yan yung sagot natin for requirement number 4. 1,850,000. Ganun lang. Diba? Dali, no? Okay. Sa requirement number 5, sabi, if the corporation is a non-resident foreign corporation naman daw, having total asset excluding land of 90 million, ignore mo na yan. Ginugulo ka lang ng problem. Bakit? Hindi naman applicable sa kanila ang 20%. Tama. What is the income tax payable assuming or subject to final tax? Kasi tama, si non-resident foreign corporation subject sa 25% of final tax. Assuming that the gross income and operating expenses are the only income subject to regular income tax. So, i-consider, alisin mo daw muna itong mga final withholding tax and mga subject sa capital gains tax. So, ano makukuha mo dyan? Tama. Ano ba yung taxable? Ano ba yung rules natin pag non-resident foreign corporation? Tama, si non-resident foreign corporation subject sa 25% of final tax. Anong basis ng final tax mo ulit? Yung gross income. Okay tayo? Sige. So, ibig sabihin, same treatment tayo kay resident foreign corp. Same treatment ito. Same treatment dito. Same treatment dito. Pero yung operating expenses mo na to, i-ignore mo na yan. Kasi nga yung basis natin is gross income. Yung 200,000 na to, kasama pa rin yan. Okay? O tapos, kung mapapansin mo, yung mga final withholding tax before, si 100,000 dito, si 100,000 dito, 150,000 dito. Tama, anong tax rate pag non-resident foreign corp? 25% ka na. So, ibig sabihin, itong tatlong item na to, subject sa 25% of final tax. Okay tayo? Kuha mo yun. O, ito din, 200,000. Tama, hindi din applicable sa kanila 6% capital gains tax, pero meron daw nakuhang gain. So, anong gagawin dyan? Subject sa regular income tax. Kaya ang mangyayari, dito, pag non-resident foreign corporation ka na, yung 15 million na gross income, ito yan, 15 million yung total mo dyan, plus, ignore natin ito ulit, plus yung 200,000 dun sa real property na located it's inside the Philippines, na supposed to be subject sa capital gains tax pag domestic corporation ka, pero non-resident foreign corporation ka dito, kaya subject na sa regular income tax. Tapos yung 100,000 mo dito, yung 100,000 mo dito, tapos yung 150,000 mo dito. Pwede ka nang mag-refer dito sa items na to. Yung dating subject sa final withholding tax of 20%, subject sa 25% of final tax pag usapang non-resident foreign corporation. Kaya meron ka dito 100,000, 100,000, and 150,000. Okay? Kuha mo yun. Sige. Tapos ito, meron kang dividend income from domestic corporation. Yung dividend income from domestic corporation na yan, na exemption na yan, applicable lang yan kapag naka-receive si domestic corporation kay domestic corporation. Ito, kanino nanggaling yung dividend income? Kay domestic corp. Kanino binigay? Kay non-resident foreign corp. So, subject na yan saan? 25% pa rin of final tax. So, mag-refer ka na lang sa discussion natin ng dividend sheet pag-usapang corporation. Okay, so meron ka ditong additional 125,000. So, magkano total mo dito? 15 million plus 200 plus 100 plus 100 plus 150 plus 125. This is equal to 15,675,000 times 25% times 25%. This is equal to 3,900,000. Tama ba? 3,918,75. Ulitin ko nga. 15 million ba to? Yes, 15 million plus 200 plus 100 plus 100 plus 150 plus 125, 15,675 times 25%, 3,918,750. Yun yung sagot natin for illustration number 5. Okay. Kuha. Sana nakuha Good. Sir, hindi ko ba isasama yung tax credit? Hindi mo na isasama yan. Bakit? Kasi nga, ano to? Final tax. Pag final, there are no certain deductions and certain additions. What the tax that you have paid or yung tax na na-compute mo dun sa percentage mo is deemed final. Okay? Yan yung differences. So yung purpose lang ng illustration number 1 is yung i-differentiate natin yung treatment kapag domestic corporation ka, pag resident foreign corp ka, and kapag non-resident foreign corporation ka. Okay? Kuha. Pagod ka? Nahirapan kang absorb? Pause mo muna. Pero mag-proceed na tayo for illustration number 2. So ilan bang illustration prepare ko dito? Hanggang 3 lang naman. Okay? Sige. So dito, sabi, illustration number 2. The records of Latafa Corporation, a domestic daw, organized in 2014, engaged in retail, shows the following in calendar years 2019, 2020, and 2021. The corporation had excess tax credit at the end of 2018 in the amount of 15,000. So take note mo, at the end of 2018, meron daw excess tax credit. So yung 15,000 na yan, pwede mong gamitin as tax credit yan for 2019. Pagkaya naman, pagkaya. Okay? Or kapag merong sobrang babayaran. Next, the corporation chooses to credit in the future years any excess tax credit it may have in taxable year. Yun ang sinabi. Tax credit. So, yung concept ulit ng tax credit, pwede siyang i-claim as deduction dun sa tax due para ma-solve mo yung tax payable. Next, requirement number 1, compute the tax due and tax payable for 2019. Okay, 2019 daw muna tayo. 2019, domestic corporation. Rules ulit natin. Domestic corporation are subject to RCIT and subject to MCIT. Ilan yung percent ng MCIT mo? 22%. Ilan percent ng RCIT mo? 20% or 25%. Oops! Wag kang malilito. Anong year to? 2019. Tama. Sinabi ko doon, yung 25% na tax rate dito is applicable kailan? Kailan? July 1, 2020. Ano to? 2019. Kung before 2020, July 1, anong tax rate mo? 30%. So, i-mark mo dyan, 30% yung tax rate mo dyan. Sige. So, computin natin si 2019. Okay? Sa 2019, meron ka dyang sales. And then yung cost of sales mo. Tapos, i-add mo yung non-operating income. Which is ito. Sales, cost of sales, non-operating income. Makukompute natin yung gross income. I-less mo yung operating expenses. Makukompute natin yung net taxable income. Ito ngayon yan. Yung CWT on sales per BIR form 2307, credit yan. So, i-mark mo na lang dyan. Tax, credit ulit yan. So, dalawa ng tax credit mo. Ito, tapos ito. Okay? So, magkano sales mo ng 2019? Sabi sa 2019, meron kang sales na 1,800,000. Sa cost of sales, merong 430,000. Non-operating deduction yan. Non-operating income mo, 400,000. Magkano gross income natin dito? 1,800,000 less 430,000 plus 400,000 is equal to 1,770,000. Magkano operating expenses mo? 1,740,200. Magkano net taxable income natin? 1,740, 200, 29,800. Sir, bakit di mo na lang dinerecho na i-deduct yung operating expenses dito sa non-operating income? Bakit kailangan mo pang i-separate? Importante sa atin ang gross income. Bakit? Kasi sinabi ko, kailangan mong i-check. Usually, kailangan mong i-check lagi kung sino mas mataas. It's either MCIT or RCIT. Ito ulit yung basis mo ng MCIT. Ito yung basis mo ng RCIT. Kaya, very crucial na paghiwalayin mo silang dalawa. So, compute natin. Ano ulit tax rate mo sa RCIT? 20 or 30%. Anong tax rate mo sa MCIT? 2%. Compute nga natin magkano yung RCIT due mo and yung MCIT due mo. Okay? RCIT due muna, 30%. Ano basis? Net taxable income. So, 29,800 times 30% is equal to 8,940. Sa MCIT mo magkano? 2% daw yan. Ano basis mo ulit? 1,770. 1,770,000 times 2%. This is equal to 35,400. Ano ulit yung rules natin? Tama, whichever is higher. So, MCIT due yung babayaran mo. Ignore mo ngayon yung RCIT due natin. Okay? Anong tinatanong? Income tax payable. Meron kang mga tax credit dito. So, less ka ng tax credit. Unang tax credit mo, meron kang CWT ng 2019. Ito yan. 18,000 pesos. So, less 18,000 pesos ka rito. Okay, ano pa? Meron kang excess tax credit of 15,000 pesos dito. Pwede mo yung i-claim for 2019. So, excess tax credit of 15,000 pesos. Tama, meron ka pang isang credit dito na tinuro ko, yung excess MSIT. Kaso wala namang sinabi na may excess MSIT ka ng 2018, so assume mo, zero ka dyan. So magkano babayaran mo? Magkano tax payable natin for 2019? This is 35,400 less 18,000 less 15,000 is equal to 2,400. So yung sagot natin for requirement number 1 is nasa 2,400. Okay, so balikan ko yung concept. Hiniwalay natin yung computation ng gross income and ng net taxable income. That is very crucial. Bakit? Kasi yung RSIT mo, ang basis yung net taxable income. Yung MSIT mo, yung basis is yung gross income. Kaya nakuha natin itong mga RSIT due and MSIT due, which is 29,800 times 30%. Sir, bakit ulit 30% yan? Kasi yung date natin, 2019. Kailan nag-start ang 25%? July 1, 2020. Okay, so 19%. Or 30% pa tayo dito. So 30% times 29,800, 8,940. Tapos yung 2% na MSIT times 1,770 na gross income, na compute mo yung 35,400. Ang rule natin ulit, whichever is higher. Kaya yung MSIT yung kinuha natin. Kaso meron kang ito yung tax due mo. Ngayon, meron ka ngayong CWT, which is dito, 18,000. Tandaan mo ulit, si CWT, creditable withholding tax yan. Pwede mo yung i-claim as deduction sa tax due mo para makompute mo yung tax payable natin. Tapos meron kang tax credit ng 2018, which is 15,000. Pwede mo rin yung i-claim as tax credit mo for 2019. Kaya na-compute natin yung tax payable na 2,400 for 2019. Kuha mo? Sige. Saya to kapag ka nakuha mo. Medyo mahirap, medyo maproseso, pero ganito talaga. Okay? Next, 2020 daw. Hanapin natin yung tax due and tax payable for 2020 if the taxpayer qualifies 20%. So, ulitin lang natin ulit yung process. Okay? Ulitin lang yung process. Ngayon, binigay sa'yo. Ito yung given mo daw ng 2020. Yan ang gagamitin natin. Kaso take note mo, kailan ulit nag-start ang 25%? July 1, 2020. So, ibig sabihin, yung 20% din na ito, kailan nag-start? July 1, 2020. Ano to? 2020 yan. So, ibig sabihin, kung i-analyze mo yan, from January 1, 2020 up to June 30, 2020, applicable dito is 30%. Tapos, beginning July 1, 2020 up to December 31, 2020, dyan lang applicable yung 20% or 25%. 2020 yung binigay na taon dito. So, ang assumption mo, yung kalahati ng taon, taxable saan? 30%. Yung kalahati ng taon, taxable saan? 20%. Meron kang shortcut dyan. Usually, ang ginagawa ng ibang tao, gagawin lang dito, since kalahati-kalahati naman daw yan, ito lang yan. 30% plus 20%. Sir, bakit 20% hindi 25%? Sinabi kasi sa problem, qualified siya sa 20%. Huwag ka na makulit. Sinabi na sa problem. 30% plus 20%. Tapos, i-divide mo lang yung dalawa na yan by 2. So, magkano yan? 30.30 plus 0.20 divided by 2. That is 25%. 25% daw gagamitin mo rito. Okay? Ito yung shortcut. Yung long method natin dyan, which is yung mas appropriate na method, ang ginagawa kasi dito, ang assumption kasi ni BIR, yung buong income mo ng 2020 is earned evenly throughout the year. So, let's say for example, 1,740,000 yan. Yung 1,740 daw na yan, na-earn mo daw yan ng pare-parehas or equally sa buong taon, which is by 12 months. Tapos, ito times mo lang yan by 6. Ito yung taxable sa 30%. Tapos, yung 870,000 na isa, yung taxable sa 20%. Pero for shortcut purposes, ito muna tayo. Dito muna tayo mag-focus for 25%. Yung shortcut muna. 25% na yung gagamitin mong RSIT dyan. Okay? Okay tayo doon. Sige. So, i-plot lang natin. Year 2020. Magkano sales mo sa year 2020? 1,740,000. So, 1,740,000 less yung cost of sales mo na 110,000 plus mo yung non-operating income mo dyan na 70,000. Magkano yung gross income mo dyan? 1,740,000 less 110,000 plus 70,000. This is equal to 1,700,000. Okay, relevant ulit si gross income kasi gagamitin natin yan para i-solve si MSIT natin. Magkano operating expenses mo? 1,600,000. So yung net taxable income mo rito is 100,000. Gamitin natin, anong RSIT gagamitin mo dito? 25% ulit. Na-solve natin gamit ito. Okay, anong MSIT na gagamitin mo? O, take note mo na naman. July 1, 2020 or 2020 ito. Tama, kailan nag-start ang MSIT mo? Tama, 2% siya. Pero from July 1, 2020 up to June 30, 2023, tax rate mo doon is 1%. Yun yung reduced MSIT. Kaya kung i-analyze mo ulit sa MSIT natin, ito daw, ang tax rate mo daw sa MSIT dito, 2%. Tapos yung tax rate mo daw dito is 1%. So same process tayo, 2% plus 1%. I-divide mo yung dalawa ng 2, makukompute natin yung 1.5%. So yung gagamitin mong percent dito sa MSIT is nasa 1.5%. So, i-solve natin. 100,000 times 25% sa RSIT. So, yung RSIT due mo dito is nasa 25,000. Ito, 1.7. 1,700,000 times 0.015 is nasa 25,500. Whichever is higher ulit, MSIT due tayo. Meron kang tax credit ulit ngayon. Ito na yung MSIT due mo. Ito na yung tax due mo. Meron kang tax credit ulit. Magkano? CWT, 2,500. Okay? Sir, meron akong excess tax credit na 2018. I-claim ko pa ba yan? Aba, hindi na. Bakit? Nagamit mo na nga dito, oh. Tama. Kung nagamit mo na yan dito, hindi mo na pwedeng i-claim yan dito. Kasi excess nga yan eh. Nagamit mo na dito, wala ka ng excess ng 2020. Yun yung rule. Excess tax credit, i-claim mo lang hanggang maubos. Pag naubos, hindi mo na siya pwedeng i-claim as tax credit. Okay? O, meron kang binayaran na MSIT ng 2019, which is excess MSIT. Magkano yung excess MSIT mo ulit? Yung excess MSIT mo ulit, yung sobra sa RSIT over sa MSIT. Magkano yung RSIT mo? 8,940. Less 35,400. So, meron kang excess MSIT. Take note ko na lang dito. Merong excess MSIT of 26,460. Okay, kanina yan, 2019. Yung rule ulit, pwede mo siyang i-claim as a deduction or as a tax credit for the next 3 succeeding year. Exception to the general rule kapag yung MSIT is na-earn mo ng 2020 and 2021. Pwede mo siyang i-claim into 5 succeeding years. Refer ka sa last discussion natin. So, meron kang excess MSIT na 26,460. Pwede mo siyang i-claim up to kailan as a tax credit? 2020, 21, 22. 3 years daw. Okay? Kaso, papansin mo, saan ka subject dito? Sa 2020. MSIT. As a rule ulit natin, pwede mo lang i-claim as tax credit yung excess MSIT mo kapag na-subject ka na sa RSIT. So, ibig sabihin, yung excess MSIT mo dito, hindi mo pwedeng i-claim, kaya 0 lang tayo dito. Okay? So, magkano babayaran mo? 25,500 less yung CWT mo na 2,500. Meron kang tax payable na 23,000 for the year 2020. So, yung sagot mo dito, yung tax due ng 2020 is nasa 25,500. Yung tax payable ng 2020 is nasa 23,000 pesos. Sana malinaw, ah. Ulitin ko naman. Yung pinakita naman ng 2020 is yung tax rate. Nahati yung tax rate kasi 2020 yan. Okay? Ano pa yung gustong ipakita? Yung excess MSIT sa 2019, hindi mo daw pwedeng i-claim yan sa 2020. Bakit? Kasi nga, subject ka pa rin sa MSIT. Yung rule ulit natin, pwede mo lang i-claim sa excess MSIT hanggang 3 years kapag na-subject ka na sa RSIT ng next succeeding year. Okay? Sige. So dito, na-subject ka sa MSIT. So meron ka ulit excess MSIT. Tama, magkano? 25,000 versus 25,500, meron kang excess MSIT of 500 pesos. Kailan mo pwedeng i-claim ito? Up to 5 succeeding years. 5 years na to. Ito, kailan mo pwedeng i-claim? 3 years lang tayo. Okay, bakit? 2020 mo kasi na-incur. 2020 mo kasi na-incur yung excess MSIT na 500 pesos. Kuha mo yun? Sige. So, punta tayo sa requirement number 3. Okay, repeat the process lang ulit tayo. Compute the tax due and tax payable for 2021 kapag na-qualify daw siya sa 20%. So, pasok ka dito, 2021. Magkano ba ang sales mo ng 2021? 2,100,200. Tapos, magkano cost of sales mo? 510,100. Non-operating income, magkano? 230,000. So, yung total gross income mo dito, 2,100,200 less 510,100 plus 230,000 is equal to 1,820,100. Okay, 1,820,100. Magkano operating expenses mo? 1,300,400. So, magkano yung net taxable income natin? Nasa 519,700. RSIT mo, 2021 na yan. Ano ng tax rate mo dyan? Applicable na yung buo, 25% na dyan. So, wala ka ng problema dyan. Gamitin mo na dito, 20%. Kasi nga, sabi, subject ka daw sa 20%. MSIT mo, 2020 naman yan. Wala naman dyang nabago. Tama? Anong tax rate mo dyan? Hanggang kailan yung 1% natin? Hanggang June 30, 2023. 2021 ito. So, tax rate mo dito, isang buong taon, 1% MSIT. Okay? Walang transitory period. Transitory period ang tawag dyan. Yung transitory period, nagbago yung tax rate mo sa loob ng isang taon. Okay? Sa isang taon, dalawa yung tax rate na ginamit mo kasi nagbago daw sa kalagitnaan ng taon. May transitory period. Sa 2021, wala naman tayong transitory period. So, gagamitin mo na dito is 1%. So, magkano RSIT mo? 20% times 519,700, this is equal to 103,940. Magkano MSIT mo? 1,820. 100 times 1%, 18,201. Whichever is higher, RSIT yung gagamitin mo. Yun yung tax due mo, 103,940. Meron kang creditable withholding tax, 21,002. So, dito, 21,002. Excess credit mo or excess tax credit mo ng 2018, wala na nga yan kasi nagamit mo na ng 2020 or 2019. O, ito. Na-subject ka na sa RSIT. Pwede mo na bang i-claim yung excess MSIT mo last year? Yes! Pwede na. Magkano yun? 26,460 nung 2019. Tapos, meron kang 500 nung 2020. So, pwede mo i-claim yan as tax credit pare-parehas. So, magkano yung tax due na tax payable natin? 103,940 less 21,002 less 26,460 less 500. This is equal to 55,978. Okay, yun yung sagot natin for requirement number 3. 55,978. So, balikan mo lang yung concepts. Okay, ito yung medyo mahirap. Una, meron pang transitory period. Tapos, pangalawa, makakalimutan mo pa yung concept ng excess MSIT natin. Sana wag mong kang malito ha. Madali lang ito kapag na-master mo. So, ito yung ini-encourage kong gawin mo. Tip ko sa'yo. Bago ko sagutan, nung pinakita ko yung illustration number 2, i-pause mo muna doon. Yung wala pang sagot, yung wala pang solution. Pause mo, screenshot mo, alisin mo yung video sa YouTube, tapos ang gawin mo, sagutan mo ng sarili mo. Okay, sagutan mo ng sarili mo muna. Pag nasagutan mo ng sarili mo, tapos panoorin mo ulit, fast forward mo, tapusin mo yung ending video, i-compare mo yung sagot mo sa sagot ko. Dapat parehas tayo. Pag hindi parehas, balikan mo yung video, tignan mo kung ano yung process na mali sa ginawa mo versus dun sa process na mali or dun sa process na ginawa ko. Yung variances doon, kailangan makita mo bakit, ano yung pagkakamali mo. The moment na malaman mo yung pagkakamali mo, I guarantee you, hindi mo na uulitin sa susunod yun. Okay, so I encourage you, sagutan mo ulit muna ng sarili mo. Yung illustration number 2. Okay tayo dyan? Sige, pagpagod ka na, information overload ka na naman. Ganon talaga, lahat ng estudyante, lahat ng tao, nangyari yan. I-pause mo lang sandali, pero I encourage you, tapusin mo yung video discussion natin kasi ito na yung last illustration natin, illustration number 3. Okay, illustration number 3 ah. Pause mo muna ulit. Try mo sagutan kung gusto mong sagutan. Itong concept na to naman is for quarterly payments. Yung rule natin for quarterly payments is cumulative filing tayo. Okay, cumulative yung filing. Pag sinabing cumulative, yung income mo ng first quarter, itatax mo sa first quarter. Yung itatax mo sa second quarter is yung income mo ng first and ng second quarter. Yung itatax mo sa third quarter is yung income mo ng third, second, and first quarter. Cumulative yung filing natin. So, puntahan natin to. Requirement, the income tax payable or refundable for the first 3 quarter and in the annual returns. So, isa-isayin natin. First quarter tayo. Meron ka ulit dyan, sales. Tama. Tapos, gross of CWT daw yan. Merong cost of sales. Tapos, may non-operating income ba? Yes. Plus mo yung non-operating income para makompute natin yung gross income. Tapos, less mo yung operating expenses para makompute mo yung net taxable income. So, okay tayo. Okay. Merong excess tax credit from previous year, 10,000 pesos. So, same lang yan dun sa kaninang illustration. Pwede mo yung i-claim as tax credit sa buong taon. Next, CWT tayo. 50,000 ng first quarter, second, third, and fourth. Then, excess MSIT ng last quarter or ng previous year is 30,000 pesos. So, unahin natin. First quarter. Sa first quarter, magkano sales mo? 4 million pesos. Cost of sales mo, 50,000. Deduction yan. Non-operating income mo, 30,000. So, yung gross income mo dito is 4 million less 50 plus 30. Nasa 3,980,000. Operating expenses mo, 3,700,000. So, yung net taxable income mo dito, 280,000. RSIT rate muna tayo. Kailan to? 2026. Yung RSIT mo naman, 25% na lang. 25% yan. Yung MSIT mo, 2% na yan. Sir, bakit 25%? Hindi ba 20%? Wala namang sinabi. Hindi naman binigay yung given na asset or total asset. O wag mo nang hanapin. I-assume mo na 25% na tayo. Okay, yan yung general rule natin kapag walang binigay na given. 25%. So, hanapin mo, RSIT due, MSIT due. 25% times 280,000. This is equal to 70,000. Yung MSIT mo, 3,980,000 times 2%, 79,600. Whichever is higher, MSIT tayo. Okay, tax credit mo ulit. Binigay yung mga tax credits mo dyan. Magkano? Meron kang CWT ng first quarter, nasa 50,000 pesos. Pwede mo yung i-claim as tax credit. Meron kang excess tax credit from the last year. Okay. Excess CWT at the amount of 10,000 pesos. Pwede mong i-claim yan ng first quarter. Yung excess MSIT, pwede mo bang i-claim? Merong binigay. Excess MSIT. Hindi mo pwedeng i-claim. Bakit? Saan ka subject? MSIT kasi. Okay, tapos meron ka ditong excess MSIT last year na lang. Tapos, excess MSIT this year. Wala pa namang binigay. So, 0 tayo dyan. So, magkano yung RSIT or yung tax payable natin? So, this is 79,600 less 50,000 less 10,000, 19,600. Yun yung sagot natin for the first quarter. Yan yung babayaran mo ng first quarter. 19,600. Okay? Sige. Gawin natin yung sa second quarter. Sa second quarter, cumulative filing ulit tayo. Yung rules natin dito, kung magkano yung income mo ng first and ng second quarter is itatax mo sa buong second quarter. So, meron kang sales ng 4 million sa first quarter and sales sa second quarter. So, magkano yan? 4 million plus 12,400,000. So, yung sales mo sa second quarter, 16,400,000. Okay? O, sa cost of sales, 50 plus 50, 100,000. Sa non-operating income mo, magkano? 30 plus 120, 150,000. So, yung total gross income mo dito, 16,400,000 less 100 plus 150. This is equal to 16,450,000. Kuha! Okay, magkano operating expenses mo? Siyempre, yung operating expenses mo from first to second quarter, which is 3,700,000 plus 12,100,000 is equal to 15,800,000. So, yung net taxable income mo dito, less mo ng 16,450, 650,000. Parehas pa rin yan ng rate, 25%, 2%. So, 650,000 times 2, 25%. This is equal to 162,500. Yung sa MSIT mo, 16,450,000 times 2%. This is equal to 329,000. Whichever is higher, 329,000 tayo. Meron kang mga tax credit. CWT mo ulit. Magkano CWT mo? 50,000 plus 30,000. So dito, tax credit mo dito, 80,000. Excess CWT mo, pwede mo yang i-claim ng buong taon kasi nga cumulative yung filing natin. So meron ka ulit dito 10,000. O, wag ka na namang malilito. Sir, bakit kanina? Bakit yung kanina sa illustration natin dito sa illustration number 2, yung excess MSIT ko dito na 15,000 na tax credit, claim ko lang saan? Sa 2019 lang. Nung sumobra 29 sa 2020, hindi ko na siya claim. Kasi ang sabi mo, kapag nagamit na, hindi ko na pwedeng i-claim dito. O, mali tayo dyan. Huwag mong i-compare yung illustration to sa illustration 3. Kasi dito yung tinatanong, quarterly. Okay? Yung tinax mo sa second quarter, kasama yung tinax sa first quarter. Kung sa first quarter dinideduct mo yung 10,000 pesos, tinax mo pa rin sa second quarter, yung income na yan. So, ibig sabihin, pwede mo pang i-claim yung excess CWT sa 10,000 na 10,000 pesos. Kasi nga, isang buong taon mo siya pwedeng i-claim. Ang tinatanong naman dito, second quarter. Kapag yun nandito sa taas, 2018, 2019, sa 2019, hindi mo na pwedeng i-claim yung 10,000 na to kasi nagamit mo na ng 2018. Okay? Kuha mo yun, quarterly kasi. So, ito yung rules kapag quarterly payments. Cumulative yung filing. Ulitin ko, cumulative yung filing. Okay. Ngayon, sa first quarter, meron ka ng binayaran na 19,600. Ulitin ko yung concept. Yung tinax mo sa second quarter, kasama yung income sa first quarter. So, kung nagbayad ka na ng tax sa first quarter, ibig sabihin, tama. Tapos, tinax mo pa sa second quarter, tama lang, na meron kang pwedeng i-claim na tax already paid in previous quarter. Okay? Kasi nga, binayaran mo na yung 19,600 in advance. Tapos, tinax mo na naman siya dito. So, pwede mo i-claim yan. 19,600 dito. So, yung MSIT, di ko ba pwedeng i-claim? Hindi. Bakit? Kasi, subject ka sa MSIT pa rin. So, ganyan yung mangyayari. Yung tax credit mo ulit is yung CWT mo ng 80,000, yung CWT mo ng first quarter and second quarter. Tapos, yung excess CWT mo ng last year, pwede mo siyang i-claim to first, second, hanggang fourth quarter yan actually. Okay? Tapos ito, yung excess MSIT mo, hindi mo pwedeng i-claim kasi nga naka-MSIT due ka pa rito. Tapos yung tax na binayaran mo last quarter, pwede mong i-claim as tax credit kasi nga binayaran mo na yan nung first quarter. Okay? So magkano total mo dito? 329,000 less 80,000 less 10,000 less 19,600 yung tax due natin or yung tax payable natin, ulit nga, 329,000 less 80,000 less 10,000 less 19,600. Yung tax payable mo is nasa 219,400. Okay tayo dyan? Sige. Next tayo, third quarter, gawin natin. Yung concept lang ulit ng third quarter, yung income mo sa first tapos second, isa tax mo hanggang third quarter. So that's 5,500,000 plus 12,400 plus 4 million. This is equal to 21,900,000. Sa cost of sales, pag inad mo ulit yan, 345,000 na yan. Paano na-compute? 245 plus 50 plus 50, 345,000. Yung non-operating income mo, 4 million plus 12,100,000 plus 3 million, or mali. Yung non-operating income mo, 30 plus 120 plus 70, 220,000. So, yung gross income natin dito is 21,900,000 less 345 plus 220, nasa 21,775,000. Operating expenses mo, magkano? 4 million plus 12,100 plus 3,700,000, nasa 19,800,000. Deduction yan. Less mo yan, 21,775,000. Para ma-solve mo yung, or 21,775,000 less 19,800,000, makakompute mo yung net taxable income mo na 1,975,000. Same concept ulit, hanapin mo yung RCIT due, tapos yung MCIT due. 1,975,000 times 0.25%, this is equal to 493,750. Tapos yung 21,775,000 times 2%, this is equal to 435,500. Whichever is higher tayo, eto tayo. RCIT na tayo for the third quarter. Okay, tapos pwede mo na i-claim ulit yung mga tax credit mo. Yung tax credit mo ulit ng first, second to third quarter. So that's 50,000 plus 30,000 plus 40,000 is equal to 120,000. Yung tax credit mo dito, 120,000. Excess CWT, pwede mo pa rin i-claim yan sa third quarter. Hanggang fourth quarter nga ulit yan. Yun. Yung excess MCIT mo, meron kang excess MCIT last year na 30,000. Subject ka na sa RCIT dito. Pwede mo nang i-claim yan. Magkano yan? 30,000. Okay tayo dyan? Kuha mo yon. Sige. Tapos magkano na binayaran mo ng first quarter? 19,600. Magkano binayaran mo ng second quarter? 219,400. So meron kang pwedeng i-claim dito na tax na binayaran ng last or ng third quarter, which is nasa 239,000. Tapos ano mangyayari dyan? Magkano ngayon yan? 493,750 less 120,000 less 10,000 less 30,000 less 239,000. This is equal to 94,750. Okay, so yun yung babayaran mo ng third quarter. Ulitin lang ulit natin sa fourth quarter. Yes, maproseso, pero kailangan mong malaman ito. So yung income mo lang third quarter, shortcutin na natin, 21,900,000. I-plus mo lang yung sa fourth quarter mo na 5,200,000. So this is equal to 27,100,000. Tapos i-less mo yung cost of sales mo. 345 ka na before. 345 plus mo lang yung 45 dito. Meron kang 390,000 na cost of sales dito. Tapos yung non-operating income mo, magkano? 4,500,000. Tapos or 45,000. Tapos naka 220 ka na last year. So or last quarter, 220 plus 45,000. This is equal to 265,000. So 27,100,000. 27,100,000 less 390,000 plus 265,000. This is equal to 26,975,000. Ulitin ko lang. 5,500,000 plus 12,400,000 plus 4 million. Okay, so hello again guys. Sorry so sa video na yan, baka magkaroon tayo ng konting cut kasi biglang nalobat yung ating recorder. Sige, so ulitin natin. Nasa fourth quarter na tayo. So sa fourth quarter, yung concept lang ulit natin dito, i-add mo lang lahat ng sales mo from first to fourth quarter. So that's 4 million plus 12,400,000. Ito tayo. Plus 5,500,000 plus 5,200,000 is equal to 27,100,000. Tapos same lang yan sa cost of sales. Yung cost of sales mo is nasa 50,000 plus 50 plus 245 plus 45, 390,000. Sa non-operating income mo, 30 plus 120 plus 70 plus 45, 265,000. Makakompute natin yung gross income natin na 26,975,000. Puntahan mo yung operating expenses, 3.7 plus 12,100,000 plus 4 million plus 4.5. This is equal to 23,300,000. Sulitin ko lang ulit, 30,000 or operating expenses, 3,700,000 plus 12,100,000 plus 4 million plus 4.5, 24,300,000. So i-recheck ko lang ulit, 3.7 plus 12.1 plus 4 million plus 4.5, 24,300,000. So magkano net taxable income natin? 26,975,000 less 24,300,000. pindot, 975,000 less 24,300,000. This is equal to 2,675,000. Multiply mo ng 25%, 2%. So yung RSIT natin dito, 2,675 times 25%, 668,750. Yung MSIT mo, 26, ito yan, sa gross income, 26,975,000 times 2%. This is equal to 539,500. Ulitin ko lang ulit. 26,975,000 times 2%, 539,500. Okay, whichever is higher, RSIT tayo. So, gagamitin mo dito, pwede mo i-claim yung mga MSIT due. Magkano tax credit mo ulit? For the full quarter, ito ngayon yan, CWT, which is 50,000 plus 30,000 plus 40,000 plus 35,000 ng fourth quarter, nasa 155,000. Excess CWT mo. Excess CWT mo ng last year, pwede mo pa rin i-claim siya up to fourth year, which is nasa 10,000. Tapos, excess MSIT mo. Last year, magkano? 30,000. Pwede mo i-claim yan kasi nga, subject ka sa RSIT. Tapos, excess, or yung excess, yung taxes na pinayaran mo last year, magkano? 9,600,000 sa fourth quarter, 219,400 sa second quarter, plus 94,750 sa third quarter. This is equal to 333,750. Magkano yan? 668,750 less 155,000 less 10,000 less 30,000 less 333,750. This is equal to 140,000. Yan yung sagot natin for fourth quarter. 140,000. Sir, parang may nakakalimutan ka. Nung second quarter, saan tayo due? MSIT. Saan tayo, yung first quarter, saan tayo due? Sa MSIT ulit. Hindi po ba natin pwedeng i-claim yung MSIT, yung excess MSIT sa third and fourth quarter na nasubject ka na sa fourth quarter? Hindi. Okay, bakit? Kasi nga cumulative yung filing natin dito. Ang nangyari dito, nung first quarter and second quarter, preliminarily subject ka sa MSIT. Pero sa third quarter, hindi ka naman talaga subject sa MSIT, but rather subject ka sa RSIT. Nung first and second ko lang na subject sa MSIT. And eventually kasi, yung MSIT, yung excess MSIT mo, which is yung tax payable mo na, yun na yung parang kiniklaim mo as deduction dito sa third quarter. So, gusto ko, yun lang yung kailangan mong maintindihan. Kapag quarterly payments tayo, yung MSIT na binayaran mo last year, or excess MSIT last year, hindi mo yun ika-claim as deductible tax credit ng third or fourth quarter or ng any other quarter kapag nasubject ka sa RSIT. Magkaiba yun dito sa illustration number 2 natin. Yung illustration number 2 kasi yearly yung payments natin. Okay? So, sana natuto ka. Ulitin ko ulit. Medyo maproseso, medyo mahirap, pero wag mong susukuan. Importante ito, lalong-lalo na sa board exam. Pati na rin kapag nagpa-file ka na ng sarili mong tax return. So, yun lang muna for this video discussion. Have a good day. Sana okay ka pa. Ciao!